make a quick video, bit of real talk off script, especially with what's happened to Charlie Kirk, as we are in the thick of eclipse season. We're really like in the eye of the storm, and shockingly, I kind of saw this coming, but not quite in this way. Like, I knew, but I didn't know. If y'all saw my last video that I put out where I made predictions about this last lunar eclipse in Pisces that we had, you can see that there's a lot of foreshadowing going on there. And yet one thing I failed to mention is Pisces is kind of the archetype of martyr, and that's what we saw happen, unfortunately, with Charlie Kirk. And I want to talk a little bit about the astrology of that assassination and what it means and where we go from here. So I think it's interesting to note that the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination, we had the moon transiting Chiron in Aries, and it was opposing Libra, which Charlie Kirk is a Libra, and Mars was in Libra at that time, which is god of war, and it was T-squaring Jupiter in Cancer. So any of you who are cardinal signs, you probably felt something that just didn't sit well with you on the day that Charlie passed. Now, not every Libra got it at that level, because there's more nuance to his chart, and I haven't even fully dug into that. If you are interested in me, looking at the astrology on the day that he was assassinated, I definitely will. Some people have already said they want me to look into, Epstein's date of death, which I have on my itinerary. I am going to do that, but I'm in the middle of a lot of shakeups myself. I'm in the middle of my third move for this year, which I didn't see coming. But hopefully I will be moved by the end of this month, and once I get settled in, I can decode some of this stuff. That said, what I can tell you right now is that, all the cardinal signs probably got a little bit ruffled, extraordinarily, around the time of Charlie Kirk's assassination, because of that T-square that I just mentioned and the transits that were going on. And then you add to that we are in the middle of eclipse season. We're in the eye of the storm. These shifts, these shakeups, really, whatever you're noticing going on right now, they are pivotal. They are setting the tone for the next 6 months. And I mean, yes, it's horrible what happened, in my opinion, to Charlie. Or I don't think anybody should be killed for having a difference of beliefs, especially when that person is giving platform to people with opposing views to debate and share their differences of opinion. That is absolutely fascist in and of itself, to kill somebody who is offering an open space platform to, in a civil manner, debate differences of opinion. But anyway, that said, assassinating him alone was enough, but you do this during eclipse season, it's even more. You know what I'm saying? Whatever is happening right now is a major shift, and people are saying that it is literally a turning point for America. And if you go back to the video that I put out last on this lunar eclipse in Pisces, I said the veil is lifting. We're not going to be the same. There is a wake up that is occurring, and there's no going back, because the energies that are present during this time, at the time of the event, this is incredibly pivotal. And what is the wake up? The wake up is about the role of Israel, Zionism, Mossad in our government, in our influencers, in our NGOs, in our media. It just goes on and on and on. In our academic university environments, all the way down to our textbooks that we all read out of in primary school, elementary school. It goes all the way into our belief systems as Christians. And I talked about that with this 9th house axis, which, by the way, we're not out of, because when we hit that solar eclipse that's coming up next in Virgo, it's going into that 9th house, having to do with our beliefs, our ideologies, having to do with foreigners, And so it's going to be a bit of a flip, but again, it's the same third and ninth house axis getting activated in a pretty pivotal way over the next 6 months. So, there seems to be an official story already, and it seems that they've already got a replacement for Charlie, who is, by the way, a Zionist. And people are noticing. Let me tell you, the noticing is really happening. And that's great. It's about time. That's the wake up. I'm going to talk more about this solar eclipse in Virgo in the upcoming video, which, by the way, I filmed over a month ago because I knew I would be moving and I wouldn't be able to really film very well. So be on the lookout for that to be released. Let me say really quickly in closing, I followed Charlie Kirk lightly through the years. Actually, over the last month and a half, 2 months, I unfollowed him, and I, like many other people, put a note on his X account to say, hey, I'm unfollowing you because I noticed that you are you're carrying the water for Zionism, and you are, you seem to be complicit in a cover-up on these e-files, and I don't agree with this, and I can't support this, so I unfollowed. And I don't know if he ever saw that, but I know there were many others like me, and I think together we made an impact, an impression upon him, because now looking back and really looking into him over his content that he put out over the last 2 months, I can see now that he was starting to question. And he had actually recently refused an invitation to go visit Netanyahu in Israel. He had refused money from Israel, from Netanyahu, and he had spoken out and against Israel recently. And so it seems that he was beginning to question things, and he did say that he was afraid of turning against Israel. And so, we have to keep applying pressure to these people, but at the same time, bear in mind that they are under incredible pressure. A lot of these influencers, a lot of these politicians, they are under incredible pressure because you see the real consequences of what can happen. And we've already got a cover story in place. We've already got somebody installed to take and pick up where he left off for Israel. So be mindful. This is a real power struggle going on. But we need to keep speaking against corruption. All right, thanks for listening, and I hope y'all are doing well, and until next time, be blessed.